Hello folks, welcome and welcome back to Miscellaneous. Today Friday, I haven't been streaming Fridays, but we are doing this exceptionally. Maybe we'll bring this back, and this is the rig model of Dorothy, the sci-fi story main character. And well, we're doing some takes on the rig template. And today we're gonna try something different. There's something about a mechanism skeleton that which purpose would be specific for an armature deformed rig, like a helper rig. And the fact is that in Blender, if we are trying to use these rigs, let's see if everything is okay. Okay, everything is okay. So the fact is that if we're trying to make the deform rig, for example, I have many deform rigs, setups here, helper, this. If you try to make this with bones, deform bones that are the helper bones, well, they will often not automate in relation to the posing, because they would be it will be an indirect posing, because I'm not posing themselves, sometimes not even the bone that they are parented to or something like that, or bone constraints. So this happens because of breaking of the pathway between there are different pathways in Blender. Basically, I would say the parenting relation and the bone constraints relation. Bone constraints pathway and the parenting relation pathway. And for the helper bone, for example, here I have two fanny bones for this. Actually, this is a good thing, right? I think that's a good thing. We could get this into actual octahedral, or even. Oh, I need a shortcut for that. Yeah, let's make a shortcut for this new operator. Fantastic new option, actually, not an operator. Let's get a short highlight here. Shortcut for keyboard shortcut 4.5. Yeah. New keyboard for new option. So it's the bone. What do you call this? Is bone tab. For bone display as individual bone display as. Yeah, so this is very interesting. So basically, I have already for the skeleton this shift control alt. No, wait, that's the screencast view, screencasts not working. There we go. So now I have this shift control alt B for display as like stick, display as octahedral, display as wire, you name it. So usually I used to do everything with bone, right? Because we have this strength scale on the X and Z axis, right? It's very good. But now in Blender 4.5, as you may know already, I have this not just for the armature, which is generic. And here's my shortcut. Assign shortcut to this, but now we need another one for something that is individual bone. This should help. So I think instead of Shift Control Alt B, maybe just Control Alt B. It's a weird shortcut for the fingers of the left hand, but okay. So let's try this. Assign shortcut Control Alt B Apparently this is not working. Okay, this is not working. Maybe this is already taken. Let's try Shift Alt B then. Okay, Shift Alt B, very weird, but I think Control B might be used for something else. So I'm gonna reset these B bones because I believe they won't be very helpful here. We could also use envelope, but envelope, yeah, it's like, yeah, they'll have these other settings. This will be really for dynamic waves apparently. I never used that experiment that I tried. Apparently we can change this. This real times change the waves. It's not waves, it's actually envelope waves. It's a different thing. So it can overlap or not with the waves. It's very weird. I don't know why it's like that, but this influence can be useful sometimes because we can control them with this. But the fact here is that we're not gonna use this. This just was confused. Although it would not be a bad idea to have them somewhere, but we're gonna use this on octaedral. I'm gonna pick their bones things here. This is much better to visualize what they're doing, and then we can of course change their they are too small. Yeah, so this is a great thing. First use for the octaedral here, the helper bones. Yeah, these ones I leave like that, and same for the B-bone, this B-bone spline. So this is a smoother helper bone for this joint, right? Intermediate joint of the wrist, right? And we don't have, yeah, the twisting feature actually of the wrist is being achieved by the bendy bone spline, but not this one, of course. This is a helper one. I think it's not doing a derotation. Yeah, it's not helping in the detwisting if we need that to make some corrections. But we can have, yeah, let's see what is the, yeah, because this, oh no, the main bone is also a bendy bone, right? So only this one, it's causing the twisting feature, and which is not super good, I think, but it's not bad. So there's a problem here that bendy bones, they will warp. Apparently, yeah, they're warping here. Maybe this is because of the let's disable this because you have a interesting. So actually this is not good, but let's see. Okay, so I must make sure that, okay, I should have waves here. This is a way to Anthony Gibbs, in there's a tutorial, YouTube tutorial where he shows the armature block quaternary skinning great setup with the multi-modifier. Also, so it places right after the original one. This has all the normal waves, and this has waves just on the joint regions. But we know here this is not what is causing the warping. Well, not totally sure, but it's the bendy bone. So this is a problem of the bendy bone. I think, yeah, because we might want to have, let's see if we reach here a rotation. Let's see, we can watch there on the side. Yeah, when you reach about, yeah, there is a warping there. So maybe it is not something about the bendy bone itself. Maybe it's something about the spline skinning algorithm. That means that it's not the bendy bones. It's not exactly the bendy bone that will, when it reaches more positive, negative 180 degrees rotation, not the transform of the bendy bone, it's transform of the mesh. So, of course, this is counterintuitive, but if we derotate the mesh, because it's rotating too much, then maybe we can suppress the warping. So this works actually with the linear blend skinning, and yeah, it's the derotation of the mesh matters, not the derotation of the transform of the bone. The rotation of the deforms of the mesh. So in order to achieve this within this setup, yeah, I'll need to clean up some stuff here. So I just want this control bone here. Then I will bring the skeleton. No, not the skeleton. We're gonna find some on the subdivision. It's gonna address wave paint here. The wave paint is just for checking. Yeah, let's check the wave paint for this hold on, this as well. Okay, it's because of that. It's a new system here. You can hide and unhide the bones, but you need to be either here or here, or yeah, mesh or bone. So if I pick the bone here, I can hide the bone, and I unhide and hide the bone. So Shift H for the bone. Now the mesh is in the hide. So Shift Control X. No, this is incorrect. Oh no, there is indeed the whole hand is getting these waves for some reason. Okay, that might work too. It's not a problem. Usually you place this only on the joints, right? Smoothing, maybe it's not necessary. And I haven't placed it on the, yeah, I placed on the neck, also the base of the neck opening. No, I haven't. Okay, we could have this at the base of the neck too. Is this locked? No, it's not locked. The vertex loop might be locked already. No, it's not locked. Okay, let's make some. So because this place also has some difficult. It's also, the neck is complicated because it has lots of rotations in all directions, and it has the base of the neck and also the you have to make sure you have some setup for it, corrective setup if we're using corrective on both the directions, right? The base and the top. So here I think this should be sufficient. Then we're gonna make a. So I'm not too familiar. I don't know exactly all the pros and cons of this technique, but that Anthony Gibbs presented very well in his tour. But I know that this apparently works. It's very clean, very easy to set up, and very powerful. But it's not exportable unless you can bake the mesh used by poles. Alembic thing, I don't know whatever we use, but I have no idea how that works, but I know that works like that. It's, more or less the external software can handle, such as Blender, dual pattern and skinning method. Apparently, I've heard that Godot can do this, Godot game engine, but you need to script for this adaptation. So not all external CG software can handle that. Same for spline skinning. This is why also bendy bones might not work. That's not only because of the bendy bone structure of Blender, but because of the spline skinning algorithm. All right, so here we gonna make some, why not, right? And okay, so here for the hand, so you see we could make for the shoulder bands here, but this I'll do this later because the shoulder and the hip and pelvis region, because this I have here and I have, yeah, I have so the toes. This that is normal. Look here, we can. I don't remember that. Yeah, it seems to be a bit too expensive. Yeah, it's expanding too much. Like some pages, don't know why. It sounds incorrect, but that sort of things seems to be working. All right, so preserve volume. So what I need to discover about this is that this is very curious about. I probably made this on purpose. Why this doesn't diagonalize? And this does. Yeah, doesn't matter. Wait, page is crazy. So we're gonna. I want to figure out this. It's very interesting for me. Let's try to figure out this right now. So I have this armature. Then we got this control. Yes, where is the height? Okay, so we can test it with the ankle. And for the ankle, not the ankle, the ankle. So we got here the all right. I don't have a pole target anymore in these rigs. I'm all relying on the fact that we have the IQ bone constraint without pole target, and that we have this for the control rig. We have these things. Now I can use these settings. You see, it's not too hard to pose. I was experimenting. We get good posing, but we need a different way to. So now it respects the limits of the inverse kinematics. So on the extreme pose, it can do some warping, weird stuff. But otherwise, and so to use the pole target, we have to. One way would be to rotate this bone, or just grab it with auto IQ option at 1, and then we can have this smoother motion. And yeah, because there's another thing there, I can also rotate here with IQ range of 2. But this is another story. Okay, so I'm not using pole targets anymore until they fix that bug that they get, because we don't have this anatomically more accurate limit, right? So the yeah, so everywhere now all the last bone on the IQ chain, it will, if it has this limit, the pole target, the simple presence of pole target in the IQ bone constraint will break these settings of the inverse kinematics. Very unfortunate. Only for that last bone. It doesn't matter, you can push the last bone to something else. It will push the IQ chain further away. Doesn't matter, it will use it, right? And it will break it. So it is really very unfortunate. So no workaround that I know. You'll just ignore, maybe not 100%, but like 95% something. It will just ignore this setting. But now it doesn't ignore, so I have it. The deforms here are not good because I've been, so I can have this thing. So why we want this kind of exaggerated thing? Well, because if we, not only because it's certain the body can do that, but we can also bring your arm like up here. So you can do this, right? So not very intuitive in 3D to pose like that, but it is necessary to realize what's happening. And all right, so the hand can do this. Yeah, so the arm, right? So we have also limits for the back. So see that this one, yeah, this skeleton here is just in the way. This one, it can, oh yeah, it can go, it can do a lot behind. So this was it can go a lot. Here we have, it's too stiff on the, added to adjust the stiffness of some. Yeah, I see, so it's reached the limits. So the upper arm. Human is small. Alright, so yes, so from the knob. So you can I'm still trying to find the ideal position. It's not for a anatomically accurate rig, but more like a slightly anatomically accurate rig with the human body mechanics, correct, but with exaggerated, slightly exaggerated exaggerations. Yeah, the extremes, right? So for animation, like cartoony and 3D animation, we want the animation there, we want the extremes. Right? Now the idea is that because I don't have a full target, probably I can certify that this warping here, see, 180, when it crosses, it warps. So this is something that is not about the linear blend skinning algorithm or method. This is the wall pattern and skinning. So this is this thing. So if I turn this off, this object modifier, you see it behaves completely different. So okay, this solves my interrogation, folks. This method, that should be what should be expected, but I was having doubts here. It doesn't matter if you're using the, yeah. So I'm gonna, let's see, what's the, dual, yeah, it's like, I'm writing a highlight, it's just like the, preserve volume wall pattern skinning method. Still causes warp artifact in spite of positive, negative 180 degrees station, in spite of multi modifier option setup, dual stack Anthony Gibbs tutorial. Multi-modifier option setup. I think I'm out of all right. Very good. That's okay. So the demonstration is right here. I have the linear blend skinning here. It's the normal default weights for all the bones. Then we have a bulk alternate skinning method with preserve volume and multi-modifier options right below this one, and it's active. And I don't have a pull target in this rig. I've because it's working in a different way to certify this, because there's a bug in this thing. So I'm gonna look at the mechanism bones. Let's see here. Where is the? It's not here that we have the IK bone constraint. It's somewhere else. It's that. Oh yeah, they are all in the same. Okay, it's the mechanism IK owner. Okay, that is the. Okay, it's a no pole target. So this will not be a. What we'll see here will not be because of any pole target. So it's enabled the modifiers, and just so that you know how this setup works, you can watch the tutorial. It's much better than what I'm gonna show before the steps. Turn on wave paint mode. This is these waves here, the target vertex group here, just for this, not for the original one in our blend skinning method. Just for this one, I have this, and you can use this in all the joints that you want. But be careful. It's because this is not because this is like joining. It's not because it is merging with the right. Use same input as P1 and mix results in overall group. It's not because it is mixing this way that we are safe from the warping artifact of the pattern and spinning method. So this is an unfortunate artifact, although it preserves volumes indeed. Once we rotate the bone, or I'm not sure if the rotation of the mesh of the bone on positive or negative 180 degrees, you'll see that there's a warp there of the mesh. Same here. See, there's warping there. It's tiny, but this is very destructive. This will destroy anything that I know. So there's no workaround to this. I think this is how the skinning algorithm works. It's very dangerous if you have to do a rotation like this. Of course, this will be very, very radical. I think in the human body, would there be a limb that will do more than, like for the leg, it will be like you need to do some sort of critical how to say, for the leg it will be, you need to put the leg, like the whole leg, like more than behind your torso, like right. So it will be super radical contortionism. So maybe for the human body it's not really important. So but it might cause some problems on the exaggerated poses sometimes. So depending on the limb and on the rig, of course, that matters. So this is not preventing it. I'm not sure if it's because, what if I reduce the weights? Let's make some tests. But first, what I'm gonna test and take off the armature modifier. And now you'll see that the warping, this is not a warping, it's just a, you see, where is the warping? There is no warping because now it's operating only on linear blend skinning method. So it behaves very different. The mesh is still going crazy, of course, but it is not doing the warp, what I call the warping artifact. It can be much worse than that, depending on the case. You see the rig completely breaking, so we don't have the warping. What I cannot confirm right now is that if this warping is because of the bone itself, the deformed bone itself having this out circle rotation, or if it is the mesh itself, the elements of the mesh itself that rotates too much. And so this is why I cannot confirm that if it's about the bone or the mesh. I believe it's because of the mesh, though it is so, because if we can derotate the mesh, then the threshold of the 180 degrees positive or negative will augment or diminish, because the mesh is not then rotating itself. Elements of the mesh is not rotating that much, so it is like delaying the effect. But will be very tedious to test, and to be fair, I don't want to do this right now. It's hard to figure out, but I have the impression that I already tested it and confirmed, but I can't be sure. This is why helper bones, when they derotate the mesh, they on the linear blend skinning, right? They delay the arrival of the skinning artifact. And this is why you can use helper bones. They will make that this 90 degrees positive or negative rotation is not that critical, like, because you're delaying the mesh to rotate badly by doing some wave stealings and stuff like that. Yeah, and posing the mesh through helper deform bones in different ways that will make this mesh delay their critical rotation, then for rotation. All right, folks. So now let's get into the I want still to test this thing. I want to see what maybe it's the waves. It's too strong. Let's do something right here. I'm gonna undo this, right? Okay, you see very low waves. Let's see if that. Now that I don't know if it will preserve volume very well, right? Yeah, they're still warping. It's not that bad. Yeah, I think it will still be destructive. Yeah, here is very smooth, and here is warping badly. So you see, this is interesting. This means that we can actually reduce the amount of the warping artifact. I call it warping artifact. I don't know what else should be called. So no one talked about that when I searched. I mean the technical terms that I remember. Probably it's mentioned here, but not regarding the skinning. It's, for me, it's an artifact. But it's inbuilt like the artifacts of the linear blend skinning. So this is, we can reduce, but probably at the cost of the preserve volume improvement, right? So that's not, but it could be interesting. Yeah, good to know. Let's go back here. Yeah, let's go back, and that's it. So let's get here to go. Now that we have here, oh yeah, there's a trick here. We're gonna bring these improvements because I know that this improves the. Now I know that this can be done. Ignore some tough stuff there that is happening. I know that this is actually helpful. That subdivision there. It'll be hard to do from here. Let's try. So a new finding that I was doing regarding this setup. Not very good to see here. Okay. Still not good, but you see now I can, what I can do technically. CG Dive has done this in a tutorial, something like that actually. He had a couple helper bones, like a fan bones for the joint of the motor. It's a free tutorial today. Somewhere then he starts to use for the simple joints a triple setup. I'm gonna show this actually, and it's very interesting because now I have an ideal joint there that I can use to well, I'm not being able to manipulate it for well, because of this crazy thing, right? But the idea will be to try to drag this, just pull it, pull it behind, so we can prevent some volume loss here. We can have we can wave fake this basal thing with a helper bone, so it will be a composed of it will be a setup composed of 3 helper bones: a fan bone for the top, a fan bone for the shin, for the thigh, for the chin, and then for the we could have something for the front of the knee, but we can have also for the very smart setup that is very start to build the anatomy, right, in multiple orientations. So this is it's still very difficult, but this is like regarding the waves, the automations. But this is very interesting because in that tutorial of the ogre, I believe that CG Dive had made not a mistake, but a choice that make his dual is actually a triple setup. But the dual fan bone he's using, I think he's using, I'm calling dual fan bone setup. I have it here, but mine I was doing like, let's get here. The helper, okay. So ignore this. Let's hide this. Ignore the average, smoother. I just want the fan. Okay. So here's my dual fan bone. Let's also get them as and we gotta change all this, swap all this to octaedral bones. I have also here, okay, for the knuckles. This is not needed, right? It's overdoing it, but this could be good. Yeah. So then we got here, and we're gonna bring this to shift alt B, my new shortcut, octaedral. Great. So now hold alt octaedral. There we go. So yeah, I'm not gonna make their bone options, because maybe, who knows, maybe that could be useful in the future. But we got here, so you see the way this is doing the automation here. So the parenting, I'm gonna start remake this today, because there is a better way. Also, this relates to that tutorial of CG Dive, because here's one of the only ones that explained, helped me refresh my ideas, and actually don't have a mechanism in here that is entirely for the body, but we're gonna do this. We got some strange setups here for the automation regarding this mechanism, but we're gonna make some extension of it. Even if you're not gonna use it, we're gonna build a mechanism rig for, yeah, we don't want these tracking setups. We don't want the, okay, so here we can see what this is about. So probably this is indeed for the position of the head, right? So we're gonna just, yeah, probably this is here, yeah. But, let's see if its orientation are fine. Hope this won't break the setup. Probably we need to remap this. Yeah, we're gonna remap this joint here. Like eye circle, eye head, eye track, okay, we have some in here. It's exactly like the center. Well, this is a bit displaced, so we're gonna 3D cursor SC0, and so for this one too, we're gonna just this joint here, SC0 there. It's attracted by the tail, right? We're gonna. Is there any reason this is right front? I don't know. Anyways, we can. If we check here some bone constraints, dump a track map and ice track. So it's this one. So this is like from the tail. So, and I think this bone is also something for its head position. It's for the head track, so it should match this one. You probably need to update. Yeah, aim head track. So now I need to do something else because we have changed this position. This is annoying because now we have to know this position here for the. Well, you can copy here transform. So some edit mode. The Z of the head. Yeah, control this, control C, then control V, that's it. Yes, all right, so we I think we have a few more bones here, so let's compose mode. And so how this yeah, let's just realign here. Just placed it there. Here this seems to be correct. Yeah, nothing changed here. Right. Yeah. So this setup I've shown somewhere else, but this will be. These are old setups for old target. I didn't delete them. They are just there as backup, like, in case I want to. So we gonna, yeah, probably also for this pole targets. Did I deprecated? Yeah, deprecated. So deprecated pole targets. They are. It will be this setup for pole target automation. You have some sort of mechanism, pole arm. So it's. They'll do something. They stretch to some bone there, a mechanism bone in this case. This can be more or less complicated according to the rig that you have for the body, right? The hands and feet. And these are the pole targets actually. Yeah. So that we're not using. Unfortunately, I love pole target, but because of the rig with the bug, I don't want to use them anymore. So I found a way to not use them, and that works. So they can hide this deprecated for now. We're gonna go back here. So we need a mechanism skeleton for. This apparently. Let's get this deprecated. Yeah, let's Shift M this to mechanism, just so that we have access to all the mechanism rigs. So what we need here is gonna make a mechanism skeleton. That you see that I have something here already, but we're gonna change the setup here to adapt. So apparently it has a wrong parenting. Yeah, very stupid parenting that doesn't make any sense. So it's not parenting actually like that. It's probably why I had to use transformation bone constraints for the helper bones, the fan bones notably, in order to automate. Because if you check their, yeah, just check their parentings. Yeah, okay, they are parented to the shin, okay, and to the thigh. Okay, so far it's fine, but the problem is they're bone constrained. So they are. You see, I'm using the transformation bone constraint, targeting the deformed shin. Okay, apparently that worked for the automation with caveats, but yeah, this was a solution that was fine. And sometimes I believe I haven't found a solution to this. So instead, that's why the mechanism bones come in handy. So in order to get this thing right, we need to have this bone have the same parenting of its equivalent deformed skeleton. So this is its equivalent deformed skeleton. But my rig is different. So it could be much simpler, like this would be parent, it would be an FT chain, I don't know. It will be parented to the thigh, right? And then you just parent this to well, no, it's not like that. So sorry, there are different setups. I know that my setup is different, and so this can be confused. So you need to find which is the parent of the mechanism bone that is upper hierarchy that would make it inherit the parenting relations that we want for the automation in the pathway. And so for some reason, okay, we see that we also have a mechanism bond here, but it is now wrong. It's in a wrong place. We're gonna move this to the mechanism and shift M to mechanism. Okay, so no bones selected. Okay, so we need to yeah, apparently I lost the okay, I don't know where they're gone, but we're gonna redo this. Alt M to mechanism, right? Okay, they're not moving for some reason. They seem to be locked in some crazy way. This seems to be a bug. Let's see their collections. They are in okay. They are in mechanism, but they are not showing the mechanism for some weird reason. Wait, is that collection? Yeah, the whole collection. Okay, so we're gonna. Oh no, they are here. Okay, they are here. All right. So also these ones mechanism shin. We're gonna Alt M to. I don't care where they are. We're gonna just move to mechanism also. I was wrong. Just probably clicked the wrong thing. So we're gonna now pick them and shift M to mechanism, cloning them. Let's say they're parenting. So I started to. So I wasn't using this mechanism at some point. I totally forgot that would be required for some certain automation, or they facilitate the automation because then we can just use the regular copy rotation constraint and it will work instead of the more tricky transformation bond constraint, which offers certain facilities, but it's more difficult to set up. Yeah, and because it's just about rotation, derotation, if you can match the proper derotations inverted, then it's all good. So here, let's see this part. So very stupid parenting. So actually what we want is I don't know what I have in my mind. So you see, this is part of the control shin. So it could be parented to the previous one, right? So it will, but no, it is this one. Okay, so in this rig, because this rig works like this. This is the control skeleton, is the puppeteering, master puppeteering skeleton. So these bones, they are all connected, parented, the blue ones, and so they are the master, and we have the control skeleton, spontaneous for outright and all sort of stuff. But we rely also on the ones of the master for the Aikibon constraint stuff, right? So the blue one is this, and however, I don't have an F key skeleton, or let's say that the F key and the I key skeleton, the blue, it's the same as the blue one, because we can pose them in certain circumstances with both I key and I key, F key and I key, and they usually, we can work with that. We don't need to be swapping for keyframes, which I find super annoying. So the cool thing about this is that we can just pose. You can do all sorts of pose. Sometimes it takes a little more time, but it's actually very favorable. There will be other disadvantages and advantages if we use of course, the Wigify solution, right? But anyways, I prefer like this because this also grants the possibility to have an IQ skeleton, a skeleton that is very versatile, can do a lot of stuff. Okay, besides behind this, in spite of kingdom. So we're gonna reparent this. Let's make sure we got this thing on edit mode. Apply change to matching bone. That's okay. Edit mode. So we have this. So now this actually needs to be paired to the big one, the control sheen of the control skeleton. Well, this one should be, so it has the same parent of the deformed bone. So we're gonna parent it. It have the same parent. So it's like a mimic of the deformed skeleton. Deformed, it's of the deformed main deformed skeleton. That's why you can probably duplicate the deformed base skeleton to get this thing. So now you have these mechanism bones which are target. It's like a target rig, right? I believe, but their functionality here in my rig so far is not for any retargeting thing. It's not for. Not sure that target rig is for that also, but it's like. It's just this for automation of the helper rig. And of course, we have some other mechanism bones, but they for the feet, advanced rig, and also some mechanism bones here, and maybe on the hand. Yeah, same thing. For it's all because of the IT bone constraint. It causes a lot of complications, but it can be done, and so we don't need this everywhere, but I would like to have it in the spine, but just to have it. Yeah, since you're building this, for here this will be a bit tricky, right? But let's do this, right? So I'm gonna make a middle term right here. We're gonna rename this stuff like Control F2 because I think I don't have this bone, so it's set name. No, it's find replace B. Never forget this. I always forget there. So find replace. So def3 to mechanism, and then we're gonna get this strip characters and width. Right. So also gonna change their gonna change their. Okay, the parenting is the same, so this is fine. Yeah, parenting is the same of the deform, so it doesn't duplicate. We're gonna strip it from any bone constraints, just in case it has. Yeah, it has a copy transform. We're gonna take it up. Probably we would keep that because this is also part of the. That will be actually a replace one, right? So. Yeah, this is a. Yeah, I need to change the color, so I'm gonna get here. For display mechanism, alright. Yeah, the blue is bigger, but okay. And then there's the idea of having these mechanism bones. This is where it might not be so good right now to have this is to have these mechanism bones display as Alt B, Alt Alt Octadro, not Octadro, sorry, as stick. No, stick Alt Alt. It's because now they are competing the. Yeah, it's not very intuitive now because the red ones, they are, the deformed skeleton is like on its above it, right? It's bigger than it, so I don't like the structure. So unfortunately, it is not optimal right now for me. We'll see what could be better. If you have a better idea, then please tell me. So maybe it's we could, instead of just the name of the bone, we could do this according to certain utilities, ongoing utilities, right? Probably I did this bone here just in order to make some tests, but this is actually very stupid. I think this is not good. We're gonna see the parent. Yeah, it's parent to the hip sway, which is this one. Yeah, so we're gonna use the snapping here. Snap to vertex, include non-edited. I'm not sure about this one right here, so we're gonna just grab this and snap it here, and we're gonna align the. Oh yeah, what is the orientation of this bone? Yeah, it is. So it doesn't seem right to me. Alt F. Let's. Okay, we parent this. Oh, it's because this bone, no, it's moving, it's pointing down too. Okay, let's. Is the reverse spine now? It's the hip points down in this ring. Hip offset, okay, because when we click and Control Alt A, we're gonna align. So this one really, what to do with this bone? Let's get it a bone. It would not be a bendy bone, but this. Yeah, the hip is not a bendy bone, by the way. See, it's not. Okay, this is correct. It's not the good parenting. About the bone constraint. Yeah, about the bone constraint, we're gonna get. See, we don't have anything, so this probably is just like this, right? You get like actually this and the mechanism and shift control C. I believe that will be this, right? Just a pure replace stuff. Okay, so it inherits the parenting, it inherits the pathway of transform, it inherits the bone constraints parenting pathway, right? But I'm not sure this parenting is correct. This is probably correct, but maybe this is not correct. Maybe we don't need this one actually, but I'm still a bit unsure. So we're gonna see by the automation itself finally, folks. So here we, congrats if you watch until here. Here's something I'm gonna show in a moment, but we need to fix these automations here. All right, so currently, if you look at the helper, and so what is my idea for the fan bone? Basically, let's assume it is. Let's not assume. Let's check if it's properly wave painted. Probably need to change this pose here. Okay, so what happens here is that in terms of wave paint, the helper bone, it's not any sort of wave paint actually. It was based on the wave paint of the shin on the joint region only. So it was a duplicate of the vertex group of the shin deformed bone of the base skeleton. Oh no, it is slightly expanded there, so maybe I did that on. But here it was to be the same, but then you start to erase these waves, remove gradually, right? Until you find they are close enough to the joint. So of course, the fan bone wouldn't affect. So it's a derotator of the joint near the bottom. So regarding this one, so this will be a very, if it was very accurate with not this, that will be a perfect, like just a subtraction. So you just leave some amount of waves for the helper bone of the shin joint, the lower part of this knee joint. So just a subtraction from the shin, nothing more, nothing less. And same as here, so you have the thigh deformed base skeleton deformed bone, and then we have its let's see if it's match. Yeah, so it's just a subtraction too, but you see that some waves are here. Maybe I've made some extra wave paint here accidentally, or just for was messing around with the rig. But here it will be the same idea. So you don't need to be wave painting this crazily. There is a way to actually make this very, very exacting, like mathematically accurate. So it will just derotate the vertices of the mesh in relation to, so it's like taking waves from, stealing waves, because the motion of this bone is just a derotation, right? So just derotating the of course the pivoting point is not this, is a different one from the, but it's not this, it's a different, actually the pivoting point is the pivoting point of the joint, let's say like that, right? This angle between these two deformed bones, so it's pivoting the same, yeah, from the same relational, because it's relational, right? It's not about the deformed bone of the shin that rotates up, or it's not about the, it's about the angle that forms between two deformed bones with wave paint, so on the mesh. So it's this angle that forms the abstract, because the angle could be, it doesn't matter where the deformed bones are, if they are creating some angle and they have the waves there on the mesh. It's it all goes to the, in the end it all goes, you need to abstract that, in it all goes to the mesh positionings, right? The vertex position, of course, in relation to their adjacent, they are, yeah. And the deformed bones, they are some sort of abstraction of the maps. They'll be like the numbers, right? And of course, bone positioning matters, because but they don't absolutely matter in all aspects. This is why it's tricky also. We could bring these deformed bones to another place on the rest position, still maintain the same deforms. Crazy, right? Depending on the case. So because the waves are here, so it's like the bone abstraction is here. So we need to okay, so here I don't have the good example, right, of the subtraction, very mathematically accurate derotation, but this will work nonetheless. And if you saw the ogre tutorial of CG Dive, he bring great ideas. He bring the dwarf and bone idea. Actually, I wasn't considering it as a solution. I was using just one fan bone, like here, and so it's very good that he presented that. He didn't mention what I believe might be one of the origins of the fan bone technique, which is the it is an Australian professor was using the animation master software, CG software for rigging animation. popular at that time. And there was a publication 3D in the review, in the magazine 3D World, where he explained how he documented the technique. So I can't publish that, unfortunately. It's thing is copyright. I can't find this online anymore, but I found that online. But then I tried to reproduce that in Blender. So the fan bones and so the CG dive. Yes, go for the CG dive trick there. So see if I can find it. Here we got. Triple knee joints. Okay, here we go. So in this tutorial, he was not using this way of wave painting more accurately the deformed bones of the fan bones. He was doing it with. Oh, I forgot the. Big mistake, folks. Yeah, I forgot to put my. Yeah, sorry folks. Yeah, it was very unfortunate. Maybe I should. Probably you could hear my voice, but very low and low volume. Yeah. Okay, so here is the triple setup. Let's turn this off here.
In the arm, we added these 2 additional bones and an elbow bone. And for the leg, we're going to do almost exactly the same thing. We're going to have 1 bone that kind of controls this thigh area or hamstrings, 1 for the calf.
That's why they are called fan bones or fanny bones to start with, like it's like a fan. But I don't use this way. I don't think this is very intuitive.
And 1 knee bone if we need it. But doing the exact same thing twice is kind of pointless, so I want to try to make it a little bit more interesting. The bone setup will be
so here's a triple setup because there's these fan bones here, and this is not a fan bone. It will be, maybe it's a fan bone, I don't know. This is a helper bone of the but you see, I would like to use 1 behind, which is not a new technique for yeah, some people use here for muscle and some other corrections, but I want to specifically use this because we have a lot of oh, by the way, you see he's using the, no, this is a different setup. No, exactly the same. Okay, so you see, very interesting. He's doing, I didn't see that he was already using this technique. I'm using slightly different setup, but
similar.
You see this diamond quad here. I never visualized that, but this diamond quad here is actually this diamond quad here, except that in my case I've made it all here, right? So we can actually make another subdivision, but you see, so I made the diamond quad from here. And I want to control this part, and I have this expansion here, which yeah, I have this subdivision here just to create some shapes here, which are not very good here actually in the rest position. We can improve this by moving this inwards, right? And same here, we can maybe do something like this. So this is for anatomic purpose, so that I made this. And this kind of, so with bit weird, but this kind of works, right? But it might be a bit more complicated because there are more vertices to, I still don't know. We can do this face loop inside here if we want to have this anatomic control, but I'm exploring this and it has been working, but I need a little more tests to be sure. And this might be the ideal not right now, but yeah, it's could be the good model to actually test this, right? So here are some rogue waves here. We need to smooth this out, right? Otherwise, this will be very crazy. There's something here that is, yeah, there's some critical rogue waves there. Now I can control, you see this, if I take this off, I have this flat thing, which is not super interesting, right? So we can get much better thing, but then it will shrink too much, so causing volume loss. So we can actually control this on demand with a helper bone. If we can't do this with waves directly, which could be more abstract, we can correct this with the, yeah, so here we might want to reduce this, maybe just by smoothing, and same here. Okay, these tiny adjustments here, so there's certainly some sort of very strong waves that are happening here. Let's I think I can correct this immediately. Let's see what are affecting. So it's not a lot of bones, so it's not this. Wait, maybe it is. No, paint, let's see, Shift X. Now this is a maximum weight, so it's not the shin bone. Control Shift X is not the, oh yeah, there's a type bone here, so we can probably do something here. Let's bring back the soundtrack. Okay, okay, I have some problem with the smoothing. Not sure. It looks like it's locked, but no, it's not locked. Yeah, maybe the position is very hard to wave paint here. We might need a different pose here. Yeah, why it's not responding? Maybe I need to select the bone. Yeah. Here. All right, I need to, okay, something that I need to paint it here. It's very crazy. Okay, this fix. Okay, so just a little more. Okay, we match with the other. That sounds good enough. Yeah. All right. So okay, so you see the knee part is not really the problem right now, but we could smooth this. I have other systems that could help with that. We could use a helper bone for the front. It could be nice, but you know why complicate? Well, because we want better deforms. So this is a little problem if you start to overcomplicate stuff, right? So I don't know where I would place this helper bone, but we're gonna make it as part of the, yeah, we're gonna make it as another, like as a part of this rig, right? So we're gonna align like here. We're gonna change this Ctrl F2 bones. We're gonna change it to not help tree, to instead of thigh, we're gonna call it just knee, right? Knee front, yeah, knee front, whatever. Knee bone, no, knee front, yes, I don't know, knee spike, yeah, whatever. So we can control this knee spike thing. it's too dark in my place. And for the parenting, I think he will parent it to a mechanism bone. But this is not clear which one. Hold on, folks. Just 1 minute. Yeah, actually, not just 2 minutes, please. It was too dark in my place already, so we don't get the headset. There we go. So let's go back. Olá, dia de pedra, welcome, bem-vindo, welcome. So today is in English, so but if you write in Portuguese, I can understand. Yeah. So we got this thing which has a deformed type parenting. I think it will be parent to actually to this one, right? So gonna actually parent. Yeah, we can do this and this, and just go on edit mode and Control P. Let's reparent this. I don't like this rotation it is getting. Actually, you see this mechanism bone has the wrong parenting. We parent it to the control pin. Alright. And you see that we have this weird orientation here. But before that, we're gonna make and Shift D here. We're gonna Alt F. We're gonna call this. Yeah, we can position this here. Why not? And this parent would be also the mechanism machine. Yes. Keep offset. So this we're gonna how he called this?
Because I like how that was yet. Okay, let's go to text and knee, and I'm going to press E to extrude.
This is CG Dive tutorial. So he's making a triple system, two fun bones here,
I'm going to turn off the exact smear
and
for a
the
second.
I want this. How he's calling this one?
Which
Def knee. Yeah, def knee. Okay.
So it's going to be
And this mechanism. Yeah. So yeah. So. Okay, this is not important. This is for Rigify, and okay, that's it. So the automation there would be the okay. So the parenting is mechanism. This is wrong parenting. Oh no, sorry. This is not mechanism. We could, but we go to the deform. Okay, deform thigh and deform shin. Yeah, so this to the bottom, go to the deform. Well, so it's not clear it should be the thigh or the shin. I think it can be any, but maybe one is better than the other. Let's try this. And for this one, select mirror, Control F2. There's strip characters. I don't have knee, back. I don't know how this is the name of this anatomic feature. What is the behind? knee anatomy. What's the name of this thing? Is that the calf plantaris? Polyteal fossa. Fossa. Okay, fossa. Then popliteal. Popliteal fossa. That would be a great name, right? But this is maybe something internal. Tibial nerve, common head of tibia, joint capsule. Okay, I like the fossa. Fossa seems fine for now. Yeah, so I'm gonna call this find spike fossa, and then we got strip characters. Okay. Okay, so this is a quadruple setup, right? We're gonna control. No, this is not the right one. Okay, this is the one that we want. So we can already. Yeah, it doesn't receiving any good automation here. I need to make some animation in order to. Yeah, you see what is doing. It's not doing very well, right? It's rotating some crazy manner. So maybe this is better for the thigh, but that will cause other problems. Let's see. We need some keyframe here. Okay, and here's have some very crude motion. Of course, we don't want this. We want it to be aligned with both. So this is unsure how I'm gonna solve that. You see, it responds to the thigh deformed bone rotation, and the knee pointing there might be positive, pointing like the thigh, right? But as the thigh rotates, we might get some crazy orientation. So it's probably needs some sort of alignment, right? And this is where I don't know what's the setup. That might have to watch how he's doing this. Yeah, let's go back. So CG dive triple joints. Okay, let's go back. So let's just watch a little here, because this can be a bit tricky. Yeah, great. Mute this shit. Okay, so let's see how he will.
Try to address is
And
this
let's
between the lower leg and the thigh, and we are going to solve this in a very similar way to how we solved the arm.
He already did for the arm, but if we pay attention
In the
here.
arm, we added these 2 additional bones and
Yeah, so I don't remember exactly
elbow bone.
how
And
he
for the leg,
parented.
We're going to do almost exactly the same thing.
Maybe I've got some information here. Triple joint setup, dual fan, knee helper bone setup. Okay, shin calf helper bone rotate with action bone constraint. No, not for us. And then copy its action bone constraint to the other blah 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 blah. No, this is okay, but I want the parenting relations.
We're going to have 1 bone that kind of controls this thigh area or hamstrings, 1 for the calf, and 1 knee bone if we need it. But doing the exact same thing twice is kind of pointless, so I want to try to make it a little bit more interesting. The bone setup will be similar because I like how that worked, but I'm going to do a different type of constraint to automate the process. It will be the action constraint, and if you haven't used this constraint yet, I think you'll love it. It is very, very powerful and fairly easy to use. Okay, let's go to the meta rig and start building our...
We'll ignore the action bone constraint thing, but because he's gonna build from scratch, then we'll see the parenting relation.
So this connection between the legs, the knee, and I'm going to press E to extrude a bone and move it towards the hamstrings. Again, 1 more time and move it towards the calf, and 1 more time, constrain it on the y-axis and move it towards the knee. Now I want to select all of these bones and press Alt-P, disconnect bone. I'm going to turn off X-axis mirror for a second, delete the bones on the right side.
Okay,
Y-axis bone, additional bones. So I'm going to select this connection between the legs, the knee, and I'm going to press E to extrude a bone and move it towards the hamstring.
Okay, is the thigh from extrude from the thigh. That means that it should be parented to the disconnected to the thigh. Okay.
Again, 1 more time and move it towards the calf, and 1 more time, constrain it on the y-axis and move it towards the knee. Now I want to select all of these bones and press Alt-P, disconnect bone.
Okay, disconnected
Turn off
parenting.
X-axis mirror for a second, delete the bones on the right side, because I want to rename these new bones, I want to add constraints to them, and then when I'm done, I'm simply going to symmetrize the whole system. For the arm, I named these bones squash, which I'm not sure if it's the greatest name ever, but it will work. So let's select this bone and press F2 and name it DEF hamstrings squash. And this one, DEF dash, there's a dash after the DEF, calf squash. And this one will be simply DEF dash knee. Okay, and similarly to the elbow control, I want one MCH bone that copies the transformations of the shin bone. So I'm going to select the shin bone, Shift D, duplicate it, scale it down, make sure you're in individual origins. Then I'm going to go to pose mode, select the shin bone, Shift select this new bone, Control Shift C, copy transforms. And I'm going to also rename this bone. It's going to be MCH shin copy.
Okay, so this bone is parented to the shin, the mechanism shin, because is this a deformed bone? Yeah, probably it's a deformed bone. So no, that's the meta rig. Yeah, so this is completely different, so I don't care about that.
And I forgot to add .L to all of these bones, so let's do that really quickly. These are all of the bones that I'm going to need for the system, so let's make them raw copy before I forget. I'm going to select all of these bones. Here I have the raw copy script that I created earlier, and I'm just going to press the play button, and then in bone tab I can verify that all of these bones are raw copy. And now I want to start creating the constraints. As I said, I'll be using the action constraint. What I want to have when I'm done.
Yeah, so he's gonna use the action constraint. So there's another one that he's made for the triple, let's see, elbow demonstrate wave pain. No, it is this one, I guess.
Okay, for the solution that I ended up using, I'm going to need two bones, one for the lower arm and one for the upper arm in this area.
I'm trying to see how he, now I see the parenting, but
the lower arm rotates.
My setup is different.
In this direction.
I want to
this
see.
Additional bone will rotate in this direction and this mode. Cursor in this area, shift it, something like that. Then I'm going to select both bones, Alt P, and choose disconnect bone.
So you can look after if you want.
Let's name these bones. This one will be lower
it's
arm.
In this part here.
Squash is what I'm going to call it. And this one will be upper arm squash.
Okay, what he did, upper arm, okay, they are...
Add .L for each of these. I can also select them, go to pose mode, and make both of them raw copy.
From the upper arm.
How do we automate these bones in a way that is going to carry over to our generated rig? Believe it or not, it is extremely simple. I can simply constrain this bone to the forearm of the meta rig. And when I do, this will translate to the final generated rig. I'm going to demonstrate really quickly. Select the forearm, shift select this new bone, Control Shift C.
Yeah, this is where we need a mechanism bone to do this in certain cases.
Local space. And now if I rotate this arm, the new bone rotates with it.
So I need to make a derotation here.
Now if I move the IK handle here, you'll see that this new bone carried over to the final rig because it's raw copy. But also this constraint carried over, and the target in the meta rig.
Okay, ignoring the meta rig things.
And the bone was switched to the ORG bone in the generated rig. You see I can tweak the influence slider and it will affect the way this bone is constrained. So that's great. We can very easily create these kinds of constraints. Let's go back to the meta rig. And now I'm going to do just one minor tweak. I'm going to go to edit mode and Shift D, duplicate this bone, and with individual origins or something like that.
You won't add the
and key apparent. After to rename it, and I'm going to call it MCH. I want this bone to be MCH, lower arm, copy. And then in pose mode, I'm going to constrain this new bone. So select the lower arm or the forearm, then shift select the new bone and shift Control Shift C, copy transforms. And then I'm going to be constraining all of these new bones to this new MCH bone. Constraining straight to the meta rig bone seems to work, but I don't think that is the ideal best practice. So I try to avoid it. I also want to make sure that this new bone is a raw copy. Now I'm going to get rid of this copy rotation, and then I'm going to try to actually set up this bone. Now at the end, these new bones will be deformation bones, so let's name them DEF. Now I'm going to create a constraint for this new deformation bone in the lower arm. So select the new MCH bone, then shift select this deformation bone, Control Shift C, and then I'm going to add one of my favorite constraints, transformation.
Okay, you don't need that. So, but where is the... Okay, so maybe it was the other one. Okay, so anyways, I can't find it, sorry folks, right now, but we're gonna... Okay, so we know that this one is the... Because it's not working here. We need to... This one, it could work like this. For this fan bone, it works already, so it's parent to the def thigh. So this is my different setup, but it's the same principle. Def shin is just how we position them. So what we're gonna do here is gonna change these transformations, because we'll have the automations done by a different... I don't even have a bone constraint here, so it's just following the parent, right? So basically, if I pose here, you see, it just follows this one. So we're gonna just add a copy rotation to the mechanism bone, right? Helper knee thigh. So we're gonna use copy rotation. I hope this time this will not break. It will follow. So usually local space should be fine. And add or before regional in principle. And here we want to change the influence. Maybe this is not the correct. Yeah, it's not the correct the rotation. Yeah, actually this is actually the target must be this one, which has a copy transforms, but it is disabled. Let's just enable it. It needs to be like that. So just to the deform machine. No. To the control. No, hold on. We can offset. We can offset. So if the offset, then the mechanism. Okay, this is for the control rig. This is more complicated. Okay, but we'll ignore this. We'll try to. So the base deform, it has the copy transforms to the tweak knee. Okay. Tweak knee, why? Yeah, because we have okay. All right, so that will be. We have this so that we can do this. Okay, so it's like the mechanisms should do the same thing, right? But then no copy transforms and stretch 2. All right. What about this one? Okay, this is kind of crazy, but because this is the inverse of the hierarchy. Like usually you want the deform bone to be lower hierarchy than the mechanism, but here I'm doing the quite opposite because I want to make this follow the offset deform rig. If I just make the mechanism follow the control rig here, the blue one, then I will not have the offset. Like for stuff like this, the rig will the helper rig will break if I start to make this other offsetting, which is fundamental in the case we need to for this rig in order to develop the certain features, because inverse kinematics, right, will break your rig. It will like pin the joint, all that. You can't do with inverse kinematics normally. You need a lot of stuff to developments to do that, and so my rig can do that without I key F key switching and snapping features like you have on for granted on Rigify, which is great, but I don't use for 3D animation. I want something that don't need that swapping, so we can without swapping if we have a different setup. So it means like that we don't want to have an I key chain alongside an F key chain. You want to break this logic and like forget about the F key chain rig skeleton. We don't want the F key chain skeleton. We want just the I key chain skeleton, because then with some features we can just treat this as a as a tweak. I was calling this F key because it reminded the features of F key, but actually it is actually a tweak feature, tweaker, and that would allow us to pose to mimic certain things, like another tweaker here like this, and so you can just if you want the rotate like this, right? And this is offsetting, of course, so I'm offsetting, but the I key still works, right? So with some caveats, but anyways, there's a bit. It's not here for showing this. I need to make the helper set up here. So the automation here, see what's not finished. So what we need here, copy rotation from the mechanism sheen here. And so this will provide a, I see that the mechanism sheen is not responding. So this is a, yeah, so this is, yeah, so of course this target is wrong. If the target was the control sheen, then probably that will be different. So when I have here this, okay, this is not still not working. All right, so we don't have the automation. In spite of all that, we have the, so the idea is that this thing should be derotating that, it should be moving like that according to the, so this leads the rotation, so the, right, mechanism sheen. Okay, so nothing is happening here no matter what. We're already gonna do invert, right? And we gonna attempt to make this actually mimic, very weird, right? But parent to control sheen, and we're gonna make the mechanism mimic everything here. So Shift Alt C, no, it's the opposite. This, okay, we're gonna get the mechanism bone follow all the transforms of the deformed sheen. So it's all the same here. Don't I just use an operator for that? The armature constraints, copy constraint to selected bones. Yeah, Shift Alt C I've made. So we now have still no automation, right? For this, you see that it's doing nothing, and we don't get, oh, hold on, that seems to be, there seems to have something. Okay, no, it was just an illusion. So this is not moving, so probably this one is also not moving. No indirect motion, so this is not good. So then we got yeah, so it's just this that was causing some motion. Yeah, so yeah, all right, so this is this is not like that. So we're gonna, okay, let's try the other way around. So it's get the copy transforms of this to the not this, but we're gonna get to the pose space. We're gonna pick the control sheen, so the very radical stuff, because this is not what we want for the offsetting. Then when I offset, yeah, you see the mechanism will, okay, I've made the opposite shit. So let's do recover the stuff here. It's the mechanism that I want to disable this stuff. And here we want the control sheen. Yeah, so this is very difficult because I need to adapt. So see, when I offset the deform rig, then the mechanism rig doesn't fall. So this could be risky because I could break the helper system if I'm using this mechanism bone. Yeah, so that's why I need to have the helper rig follow something that is already following the deform skeleton and not be dependent on the control rig, although it's the control rig that I need to get this stuff automated from. So I'm struggling with having the copy rotation work for me. So now that I have this mechanism, we still don't see anything for this. Okay, we still don't see any automation there. In spite of all that. All right, so what's the parent of this? It's parent to the deformed thigh. Maybe this parenting, we need to go to the mechanism rig. Yeah, it could make sense in this circular thing. So it is, for my rig, my custom rig, this thing is much more complicated. So the solution that I found before was just to use the, like for this one, the transformation bone constraint, right? So this will overlap some things that will not work with the copy rotation bone constraint for reasons that certainly relates to this this setup of the wrong parenting of the mechanism rig, right? Which I didn't even have or wasn't using in certain, I was using in certain conventional ways, but I've managed to make it work with transformation. What I want is just to simplify this rig with using the correct technique of the mechanism rig, but now apparently it's way more complicated. It's a bit more complicated. Okay, but with a little patience here, I think I can get through it. So this one is a bit harder to make it work. So it is parented to the deformed type. Okay, parent to the deformed type. Then we have the, here it's, okay, so I know that I might need to use here a mechanism rig that follows the deform rig. Although this sounds very stupid, right? And then I have another mechanism rig that will follow the control rig. Yeah, it's I think this is very stupid. So a lot of more, an entire new skeleton just to make this. No, I want to crush that thing and I want to do something that can do the automation of the helper system without relying on this. So there is a way. I'm just not figuring it out. So all right, so let's get this thing with that parent, okay? Because this one has this parent. Okay, so I'm gonna leave the parent as it is, but gonna, instead of this copy transforms, we're gonna bring this again to the, yeah, we're gonna make it inherit the copy, same thing, but now for this bone, right? Okay, so the mechanism now has the parenting of this to this, right? To the control thigh, and has the, I did that for the shin, but now we're gonna try different. Okay, so now the mechanism is not going back to the, it's not having any constraint, any dependency on the deform rig, but it has some dependency on the tweak rig. This and another tweaker here, yeah. All right, so it is probably inheriting the pathway of transform from this because of parenting, although this might be overlapped, but it still is there somewhere, so this could be necessary. And then now we need to reset here. We're gonna, maybe I should just post something here. We need some, gonna get here, we're gonna maybe, yeah, join up. We're gonna bring back the soundtrack. We're gonna keyframe some stuff here. Just this one is fine. So keyframe here, move here, and keyframe here. All right. And well, actually, Shift F12, dope shit action editor. All right, what happened that nothing is happening here? Okay, let's delete that. Okay, record this. Okay, there we go. All right, so I have an action here that should provide us with proper leverage setups here. And you can control from this. Alright, so this has this stupid copy rotation which fails to do the automation for some crazy reason. So, of course, this is doing the... Yeah, it's using the other mechanism which is leading, right? And we're gonna do the same here. So this... We're gonna have both here and here with the proper automation. So we're gonna copy Shift-Alt-C here. So now this thing also follows... Yeah, you have this follow-up. We have... this follow-up of the mechanism, and now we can continue the posing. We see that this is not responsive at all, so you see nothing has happened. Let's try to pose now. This will be disastrous, of course, but can say that it is not responding now. Not sure if it is rotating though, but this is not... Yeah, this is not the way to go, right? So let's simplify this and see. Respose, where it is. Okay, it's already doing this. Okay, so this is instant rotation. No, we don't want. We want something that is... So add, or before original usually works. Then just for the x-axis, then we got so at the mechanism here parented to the control shin. All right, so it doesn't move. Okay, we don't want this pose space, probably a mistake. Of course, this never works. All right, you see the rest position. It's not pose space, of course. Local space. This renders it static, right? It doesn't work. Local with... No, this is disastrous. No. Unfortunately, this is causing some of double transforms. This is broken, totally broken. Not this one though. So nothing happens, you see. It's useless. And add is useless. So you see absolutely no change. The offset legacy apparently works, but I'm not sure what it is doing. Could be broken. Okay, the offset with... Okay, so here we talk about a derotation, right? Combined rotation like the original offset checkbox does not work well for multiple acts. Oh, very, very sad, because this will be actually useful. But then how you get this thing? Okay, the replace. This will make an instant rotation, right? From the rest position. No, it's not. Replace. Now you see the derotation. And the more we pose here, okay, there's a, if I extend here, oh, it's not working, it's not stretching. Yeah, so yeah, so it's not going back right where it should. So it's not working as expected. It's doing some yeah, so unfortunately this is broken. It's not what it seemed to be. It seems well at some point, but then start to break. Yeah, here it sounds very nice, but then yeah, what it's useless, because if I want to stretch now, right, it should unstretch, and it is not doing this. So it's probably broken. So let's go see here. After regional, never know, rarely know when this would be useful or not. Okay, why am I doing this? Just check here. Okay, no automation. Yeah, no automation. What if we this should do right usually, but the thing here. Okay, what if I parent it to the mechanism then? So it will inherit the mechanism, right? But well, parent to the mechanism, and then no automation. No automation. Okay, nothing. Then what if I get this? Yeah, I hate this idea, but it will be a different kind of a copy transform, like a full transforms. And there's a dependency cycle here, probably. Because this is parent to the control shin, this is parent to the mechan. Yeah, well, no, we can't do this, of course. All right, no, that's okay. Then let's try to parent this to. Oh, I see. So maybe this was a mistake. We want the control skeleton not to be parent to the mechanism skeleton. Yeah, same parenting, right? Control shin. Yeah, so this was okay. We got this.
And now re-enable this. Okay, make a control skeleton, and this one will have its creepy stuff here. That to no avail. Yeah, because if there would be, yeah, this would be actually some result, but this is broken. You see, the only thing that works is broken. So this is one that seemed to do something, but I already shown that this is superficial. This is okay. Then there is another thing that maybe I can use here. My last trick maybe in this madness for this setup, current setup, yeah, mechanism sheen. So there will be the idea of using a custom space pivoting point of the, yeah, the mechanism, yeah. And it doesn't seem to be, yeah, it's not working anyhow. I don't react, right? Do not react. So let's parent to the mechanism sheen. We parent this instead of mechanism sheen. Again, we're gonna parent to the, oh, I see. This is, maybe need to do different here. We parent it to the mechanism. It was parent to the mechanism tight. We're gonna do this differently. Parent it to the mechanism sheen. Aha! Alright, because of course the parenting. Yes. Because okay, you see, you need to have the mechanism sheen. So this is different. Is the invert, the contrary. In the CG dive tutorial that I showed, these bones are all parent to the type for some reason, but meta rig, right? But here, because I'm relying on the rotation of the sheen stuff to promote the derotation, I need to inherit the rotations of the mechanism sheen and the rotation of, and I'm making a derotation in relation also to the mechanism sheen. So it's all related to the mechanism sheen. So the parenting here was wrong. So it's like this helper bone is not parent to the die, otherwise it wouldn't inherit this. Okay, so this means that I probably can delete all this. We're gonna make it the simplest stuff. Yeah, like that. Now we have problem. Apparently this was, no, it's bad. Okay, we don't have anything here, but we can try to, yeah, it's not reacting anyhow. This is very bad. Add. Okay, it was just a bad day. It's not exactly, it makes sense, but it's still not working. Replace, let's try it then. I don't have any automations here. The copy rotation is doing nothing. We could do this with a driver, but I would, like, the driver has one thing that has like a, it has a very specific kind of, I just want to show what it is about. Like it has this, instead of using, okay, it did driver, it has this input, which would be like a rotational difference. So you can pick two targets, namely the two maybe shin and thigh, whatever, mechanism bones, I don't know, whatever works, and then we can have them. This will calculate the difference between the angle between the two, and so this could solve in a single-handedly all this trouble, assumedly. But it's a driver. I would prefer not to, but it would be, I'd like to do this here. And so what we got is that, yeah, we got it. Yeah, it is aligned. Yeah, it is moving, right? All right, so it is moving, but this is not because of the copy rotation, right? Which is doing nothing. And it doesn't matter what I do here, it's just not responding. So it's garbage. Yeah, and you see that, so I cannot fix that with this stuff yet, very weird, but I can, for example, this I have a copy transform. Yeah, let's get it, the Shift Alt C. So you see the copy, the transformation bone constraint will do, so here is like a generic stuff, so it's just a mimic of the copy rotation. Extrapolate, I think it's good in this case. Then we have, I don't remember why exactly, but I've made some. Yeah, then we have the local space, okay, just like that. And then we have the amount of derotation. So it's like negative here, but here is positive. And we could do on the other direction. So you see I have derotation. So you see this is responsive. So I know how to make it an add, right? So then we can of course change this amount. This is the amount of derotation that we might want for this. So this can be arbitrary, and then we can solve this. So it doesn't, it's the copy rotation, and the only I can't make it work in my rig, but whenever I use this it sort of works. And this wasn't broken, or was it broken after the change that I've made? Yeah, it probably was broken. Wait, this is not consistent. And if I do here, we also have the derotation, right? So you see it works in both directions. Of course now the type deform and all that is affecting too much the, but yes, the automation is work. So I can't do this with the creepy copy rotation bone constraint, so I need to do this from, so also the target here is wrong, so gonna, no, target is right. Parenting is deform shin, no, mechanism shin. So in the end I don't need this mechanism shin because I was able to do this apparently without the, with just the, well, need to check this, double check that, but the miracle of transformation bone constraint. Okay, so it's stretch. It's not stretching very well, so probably I'm missing something here. I don't know why I need to do this, but yeah, apparently I need to do this inversion here. need to check on other rigs that I've made. So here, okay, let's pause here. Yeah, it's like negating the rotation. Be like this, right? No, actually, this. Yeah, it's doing the opposite direction. So as we get this, this should actually not do this, but actually do this, right? At least in this setup, right? Let's look at the Nishin. Now it's not in a good position. It's starting to mimic the rotation. It's obviously, I think this is wrong, but it will negate any automation. Yeah, this is not, something is broken here. Control sheen, control type, nothing that I see wrong here. Deformed sheen, targeting the deformed sheen. Target the deformed sheen, yes. This one is working, the other one isn't. So okay, let's leave like that. Rotation to rotation, quaternion to, okay, default. May I have accidentally changed some stuff here? No. Oh, the helper bone parent to the control sheen. No. To the mechanism sheen. Yeah, so apparently this was one of the mistakes. No. Alright, so why do that? Let's try to understand this. Yes, these are different values, so it's derotation, gradual derotation, like in both directions, yeah. But still not working for this one. Possibly targets here are wrong. No, these are just the same thing. Parent control sheen, mechanism sheen, and mechanism sheen. Yeah. So they are, like, it's bizarre because they are just the they have the exact stuff, right? Let's even redo this right overlap. Actually, I think Shift Alt C, okay. Parent is the same. Settings are the same, so their orientations are different, but it's all that, right? There's nothing. Why one responds and the other doesn't respond? Maybe it's something about the keyframes. Let's redo this. Could be a mistake here. Nope. Okay, it's not the transformation bone constraint. It's not the mechanism sheen. It's not the parent. Although anything out there, I don't see any. Maybe. Yeah, so deform for this might be specific. Yeah. Okay, nothing here. Stretch, transform, copy, transform, and stretch. Okay. What about this one? Yeah, same. Okay, so let's get this destroyed. No, not these ones. I think it's redundant garbage to be fair, so in my rig, so I wasn't using them and I was able to get the thing to work, so gonna check. No, not here, actually. Here. And here. And then we got could be Blender 4.5 too. Yeah, a glitch. This stopped working. Of course we need to. No, the target is there. No, this is working. Indeed, this one is working. This one still is not working though. I need yeah, it's inverting the rotation, so why? It's not something about the bone rolls. Right, it's the x-axis that I want. Yeah, so misery of this rigging stuff. So here the deform shin. Totally misread, right? It's just an orientation and it doesn't do anything, right? Maybe this bone is broken. Let's delete it. And Shift D. Not gonna break the parent here. Just gonna normal rotate as to something like that, right? Actually, let's just align with this. And yeah, it's this one, right? And still nothing. Okay, what if I parent then to this then? Let's do something a bit crazy here. No, it will of course go nuts. Yes, okay, so that is very mysterious. So folks here, sorry, I need to do this offline. So so here's my plans for tomorrow. We'll have another stream. For the time being, it's better I continue doing this stuff because I need to prepare. But I have a plan for the workshop, online workshop. This will be for the next week. I'll be calling some folks to make some tests. If any of you would like to participate in the test of the online workshop, I need to make preparations and then I need to test. So please say that you want to gonna share some files and some stuff. Then we're gonna make maybe some private stuff that on the streaming. I intend to bring many people. A few people should help if possible, and then we're gonna make like a mini workshop experimentally, just to see if everything works the best way I expect. We'll see some problems, we'll see some things that work, and we'll be able to validate if this is a good way to stream certain this concept of the online workshop. So I'll be using a lot of features, so I need a planning for a script for everything that will you'll have access to files. If you arrive later in this, if someone arrives later in the stream, they can catch up by getting the files in versions that are more advanced, so they can follow up in real time. They just need to prepare. So this is why this kind of stream people need to that will go deep. They would in principle arrive exactly at the beginning. I should be exactly at the beginning, and they should be ready. They should have everything ready to start. But if anyone comes up later, they can still catch up with the proper instructions that I leave proper. So if anyone is interested in the test, feel free to just tell me in the will be I'm gonna make a call for testers in Blender forum, maybe on some Discord. Probably Blender artist forum is enough, and then I'll be able to test this. If that works, then we keep doing this online workshop and improving it. It's based on the hand on dough, mão na massa, like expression in Portuguese. So that like a concept of active education. So you like can do you watch, like not a tutorial, but you watch and you do the stuff in real time. So you're getting practice, not just watching a stupid stream. That you actually are engaging in the creative process, and it will make it very good to follow up, right? Not doing crazy stuff, but actually doing crazy stuff, but slow pace that everyone can follow. There is a setup with YouTube videos where you can have it naturally on top of the window, so you can watch and produce and create at the same time, manipulate Blender at the same time. Yeah, it's a lot of details, but we're gonna be trying to do this along the next week, and I hope that will work. If it works, then we keep improving, as I mentioned. If it doesn't work, if it's very complicated for me and for everyone to follow, then I just gonna go back to doing tutorials and then that will be it. Thanks, folks. And yeah, I'll continue doing streaming anyways, but we'll have to rethink some things. So thanks, folks. Thanks for watching. Take care and happy blendering. Have a nice weekend. See you soon, maybe when you want. See you, folks.